up, Aaron? What's up, buddy?
Thanks for having me, man. I'm excited to be doing this. How long have we known each other now?
We've known each other since like '06, '07,
Yeah,
somewhere around there.
yeah. And the entire time I've known you, you've always been the established photographer. I think the first time I met you, it was the setting just like this, and you were getting
Yeah.
inside of some project. But for anybody who isn't aware of who Rick Wenner is, which maybe there's like 10 people out there, you're like
There's
obviously
a
the
lot
most
more
famous
than that.
person we're going to talk about today. Um, how do you, just as an introduction, like how do you explain what you do? Like how do you break down who you are, what you do, that kind of a thing?
I'm a portrait photographer. A lot of people know me for my celebrity work, and they will kind of pinpoint me down to celebrity work, but I just consider myself straight portraiture. Uh, I always joke that if you have two eyes, a nose, and a mouth, and you're in front of my camera, I'm happy. Yeah, I like to create portraits of people that tell a story, bring out moments of personality and emotion. And I'm fortunate enough to work with some really amazing people throughout my career, like celebrities that, like I said, people know me for.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's how I typically give like the short, brief answer to what do you do for a living?
I've always meant to ask you this question. We just never got to it, but now that we're having some drinks and we're here, when you're working inside of like the actual moment, like the art of photography is a super interesting one for me. I have no exposure to it. I'm not a photographer. I wouldn't even consider myself an amateur photographer. Like I can
Yeah.
barely, straighten out my phone. But when it comes to you mentioned I like to capture moments. I like to have people open up. I like to like kind of capture something there.
Yeah.
One thing that I've always meant to ask is like, what is the rigidity of what you do? Like, let's say, okay, you've been assigned a job, right? You're working with HBO, or you're working with Disney, or you're working with whoever you're working with, right?
Yeah.
These major names. You have a major subject. You're excited about this person. First part of the question is, when you know that you're going to be doing somebody, do you do like a context dive? Do you like go into their career, or is it just like that you're doing the shoot for one major purpose usually, like
Yeah.
because they're doing this promotion for this one thing, and you get into that, or do you like do a whole bunch of study so that you can open them up a little bit when you talk to them?
It kind of varies, you know. Sometimes I do dive in deep into a long career, like for somebody like Christopher Walken. You know, he's such a legend, and he was probably the first legendary celebrity that I got to photograph. So I dove into his career and saw how he was photographed. Not so much going into his IMDb or something like that,
Right.
but seeing how he's photographed. And I will listen and read a lot of interviews that help me learn a little bit about what I can talk to him about.
Okay.
But then there's other times where I just want to dive in on set
Right.
and kind of learn on the spot and
Right.
have an actual conversation and not already know the answer in the back of my head,
Right.
but have it be a real conversation.
That's kind of like what I was wondering is like the rigidity of it is what I meant was like how much of what you do, like when you're doing that casework and you're going into the background and you're figuring out how they've been photographed in the past, is
Yeah.
it to figure out like how you would do it different so that you're bringing something different to the table, or is it to figure out like what do they usually work well with, and like, oh, they're okay being just the square kind of photo inside of their face
Yeah.
kind of thing, or are they not, like they're more
Yeah.
standoffish and more lifestyle type of?
Yeah. So I like to know what's been done, but I also do that so that I'm not repeating the same thing that's
Right.
been done 100 times with whoever I'm photographing.
Okay.
But sometimes your hands are tied, and you have to kind of go with what they're comfortable with, and still find an interesting moment at the same angle. There's some people who only like to be photographed on the left side of their face, and because they think that's their best
The best
side,
side, yeah.
and that's fine if that's the way it is, and we're locked into that. Fine, I'll find something to make it my own, make it a Rick Wenner portrait.
When you're going there, right,
Yeah.
and you're setting up, you're in the environment, right, like how much does their mood, their openness to the process, because like we're gonna talk about a couple of projects where like you've had very truncated amount of times with people. We're going to talk about projects where you've had half day with the people, right? And I'm assuming, again, I haven't dealt with a lot with celebrities. You've dealt with, I don't think I've met a celebrity. I think you're the celebrity I know, right? When you walk into that room and you're sitting down with them and they're either open to the process or not, is it like, is it a wide spectrum? Like, is it just as wide as you would think like the general populace is? Because these are just people, they've names, they put on their pants, they have indigestion. Like they're just people at the end of the
Yeah,
day.
yeah.
Are some of them like really into it, and like that will change the improving that's happening inside of what you're doing?
Speaking specifically to celebrity,
Yeah, I guess it's all of your subjects really,
all
because
my
like they're
subjects,
all
yeah,
people, right? At the end of
yeah.
the day, so like some people, what you do is intimate,
Hmm.
and especially for like the more iconographic type of real look that you have of like the heavy portraiture, what I imagine Rick Wenner style is, it's deep and it's in somebody's face.
Hmm.
Some people are ready for that, and some people are just kind of like, I'm sure that you talk to people and they're like, hey, what can I do? Like, what are you thinking about? Like, hey, let's
Yeah,
talk about it and let's actually like build this. And some people are like, yeah, I'm here. What's up? Like, where do I sit?
yeah, yeah. So that variety of um, emotion and willingness to collaborate on set, it varies from project to project for sure. When I'm in a fast-paced portrait studio at a film festival or an award show or something like that, most of these people that are coming back here to see me for a minute or two, because that's all they typically give me, because
That fast.
they're basically at a party,
Right. Right.
they
They're
don't want
not
to be
there
in
for
a
that.
photo booth,
Right. Yeah.
but it's been a very few amount of times where somebody has come and stood in front of my camera and did not want to be there. You know what I mean? Um, and even in that moment where they're not into it, and if they're distracted and their wife is standing behind me and they got into an argument on the way to see me, which has happened,
Okay.
and I get 47 seconds with this person,
Yeah. And they're pissed. And
they're
they're
pissed
and
off
yeah,
that
they're just not in it.
they
Yep.
just did not want to be there, and they're angry because their wife is standing right behind me, and that's what this person's looking at.
Mm.
I still have to get the shot. I still have to get it done. So I have a way of, it's really my personality, my demeanor, and my calm vibe, I guess you'll say,
Mm.
that can get just about anybody down to my level, even for a split second, so we can get that shot. Uh, and there are times, I will say more often than not, where subjects that I'm photographing have looked at what I do, and they've seen my portfolio, they've seen my experience, and they know they're in good hands.
Yeah.
They know that I'm not out to do something weird, or I'm not doing something.
Yeah. This isn't a gotcha moment. We're trying to work on something here.
Exactly, exactly. And they know that they're going to be shown in the best light that I can bring to them.
Right. When you're behind the lens, right, and you're taking the shots, whether it was inside of your mind already as like a preset thing, or whether this is more of one of those improv situations where you're trying to get them to relax in a short period of time, you're trying to make them laugh for a second, laugh and look off camera for a second so you get
Yeah.
a good shot, like that type of
Yeah.
thing. When you're behind there and you snap the photo that ends up being the one, do you have like a moment right there where you're
Where I
like, I got
realize
it?
it.
Or is it just, I have a certain amount of time here, whether it's half a day or 3 minutes or whatever it is, and I'm
Mhm.
just going to capture as much as I possibly can.
Yeah.
And then you actually find the gold when you get to editing.
Nowadays, now that I've got all this experience and I've been under these super high pressure jobs and projects and whatnot, um, yeah, I know when I've got the shot. I typically do.
You click it and you're like, that, I got it. Like, I
Yeah.
just got it. I know I just got it. The rest is all gravy. This is
I
going to be
see
an
it
amazing
in-
thing, but
I
I
see
know
it
that
in
that's going to be
frame.
one of the ones.
Yeah, I see it in frame, and the moment's happening. I see it happening. My timing's really, it's excellent, I think.
Yeah.
And yeah, I just know, and I'm even happier when I go back to my computer and I'm editing, and it's actually in focus.
Yeah. Okay. There you go. Yeah. If it's all right, I got you. Artists are typically pretty self-critical people at the end of the day, right? I mean, what I do, I'm self-critical. If I listen to music that I made a long time ago, I listen to it and I'm like,
Yeah,
ew, icky.
yeah, no, you should be.
I know. But when your career has been so long, your career has been, would you go back and reshoot anything if you had the ability to do it with your eye and with your talent now that's obviously developed? Because you said like, oh, in the past I used to kind of do more spray and pray, and now I'm much more surgical and I can kind of like figure out the exact moment that I know when it's done.
Yeah.
Would you go back and do it? Or is it like tattoos, right? You're a collector of tattoos, right? Not every tattoo that you get is perfect, but
Hmm.
it's still the story. So
Yeah.
like you still keep it and you still have like this reminiscence of it. Like,
Yeah.
would you go back and want to redo anything, or is that just the path that it was and like that's the way it needed to be at that exact moment?
I never thought of it as wanting to go back to a specific shoot or any project and wanting to redo it. I've always viewed every single thing that I've done throughout my career as a learning experience.
Right.
So yeah,
It's always
definitely
a step forward.
the tattoo analogy is perfect
Okay.
for it. Um, yeah, it's all building blocks to gaining more experience, building my skill set, but definitely a lot more focusing on the interaction between my subject and I. And there's probably times in my past, like early on in my career, where I would have photographed some local chef or a lawyer or something like that, and didn't approach the conversation the way that would have brought out a strong moment.
Got it.
You know what I mean? I may have focused too much on the light or this camera settings because
It's
I was still new,
right.
but now all that comes to second nature and
Right.
I'm much more able to have this type of conversation.
Right.
Every portrait setting that I do is very much like this.
Right.
We're sitting across from a table from each other usually. Usually
Mhm.
there's a table here and not a bar.
Mhm.
And you get a sense of who I am, so that lets your guard down. And I'm asking questions or I'm directing you in a certain way to bring out those moments, get those facial expressions, or have you whatever I need to happen. And yeah, so I wouldn't have been able to approach my work the way I do now if it wasn't for all the slips and falls early on in my career.
It's all learning lesson. It was all necessary for the moment. Yeah, I mean, perhaps you could have approached it a little bit better, but this is the journey that you're on. You wanna be who
Exactly.
you are. Yeah.
Exactly.
I was wondering if photography has this moment because it's such an like a capture of a moment kind of thing. I just didn't know if it was like, "Ah, I wish I could go back to that day and I could just ask them one other question and do the thing, or if you look at it still fondly no matter what, because
Well,
now we're
that
here.
being said, at the end of every single shoot, when the subject walks away and I'm driving home if I'm driving home from Manhattan, LA, the Hamptons, wherever,
Mm,
there's always something that goes through my mind like, ah, shit, I could have done that, or I
mm,
should have done this, or did I get that shot?
mm.
Even
Was
though
it in focus? Was the one that I thought was so good going to be as
did,
good as I
did I
thought it
get
was?
what I needed to get?
And you don't know
Yeah.
until you're going to get home. You're going to pop that memory card in. You're going to unpack it, and you're going to get
Yeah,
into
I
it.
mean, yeah, there's definitely time. Like I know on set, like I feel good, and that's why I call a rap.
Right.
I feel good about it. But there's always something happens, like a little bit of self doubt.
That's what I
You
mean.
know,
Artists are critical people. It's the
yeah,
way it needs to be. That's how you sharpen the blade. Like you can't not. I just didn't know. Does regret play a part? And it doesn't sound like overall. It sounds like it's just like self-critical in order to get better at the craft. But like every shot is still the worthy shot.
yeah. It's just that hour to 2 hours drive home,
Yeah.
or flight home, or
Right.
whatever,
Yep.
and that's when it happens.
Yeah.
It's not even the flight home because I've already gone through the work by then. But yeah, there's always that moment right after the shoot where I am a little concerned, and but I think that's very common, like you're saying. I think it's very common with photographers, directors, painters,
Artist.
anyone,
Artist.
anyone. Yeah, musicians,
Yep.
everyone. Um, but yeah, so that definitely does happen.
I would like to get into some specific people, right? Because that's what this is at the end of the day. This is people in a lens. And you're capturing these amazing celebrities and not even celebrities. I also want to talk about projects. I want to talk about, Sable. That's where we are right now, right? Cafe
Yeah,
Joel, this is in Sable, your hometown. This is where you grew up. I want to revisit that subject as well. But I do have to ask like a little bit of just a party question. Is
yeah.
like, have you ever been starstruck? You've done this for so long, right?
Hmm.
But you have to have these people that you care particularly about, and when you hear the name, there's a certain adrenaline pump that kind
Yeah.
of comes from that. And I'm wondering if like it's just another day at the office for you because this is what you do, or if there was like a certain level of like dopamine kind of thing happening at the exact moment, and it was like
Yeah.
I am trying to keep it together right now. Like, yeah,
Yeah.
this is so great. Like, I'm such a fan. This is amazing. And you just pull back the professionalism anyway. Like, do you
Yeah.
ever feel
So
that kind of starstruck moment?
that happens. It seems to happen more in these fast-paced portrait studios where I don't know exactly who's gonna be coming back to see me. Um,
So when they show up, you're
when
seeing
they
that.
show up, I'm like, oh shit,
What
yes.
what an incredible format.
Yeah,
Like, yeah,
it's wild.
yeah,
It's so freaking wild.
yeah.
But I absolutely love shooting those studios.
And this is what you would consider the fast take. That's what you would consider.
Exactly.
Okay, understood.
Yeah, the gallery on my website, the Fast Take, is all that type of work from award shows, film festivals, anything that's created with a
Wine
typically a
scars.
celebrity
Yeah,
in under 3 minutes with them.
understood.
Yeah,
Okay.
typically 3 minutes.
Okay.
So someone that I was definitely nervous about, because typically I don't get nervous if they show up in front of me and I had no idea that they were coming, or if I'm given the heads up, I'm usually okay with it. But Steven Spielberg, he was at an award show. He won some award, and that one I was definitely nervous about. Even though I had him for maybe a minute and a half
Hmm.
at most.
Hmm.
He's a legend. He's a legendary director. He knows what I'm doing.
Right.
He knows what is going to be seen through the lens. He probably pays. I'm sure he pays attention to what the person is shooting with him,
Yeah.
and he knows lighting, and he knows all this stuff.
Yeah.
Right. So there's no getting around him on that.
Yeah. No, he's cognizant as to what is happening in every step of the way. So it's
Right.
not somebody who's uninitiated to the concept of what you're doing. So
Yeah.
and that puts pressure. That like kind of put a little bit of
It did. I think it was for the sake of him being a director, his status, his experience, and knowing all that, like that all weighed in very heavily. But typically, that doesn't bother me.
and the
Usually, I'm very much in my moment. I'm very much in my flow of creating and focusing completely on bringing out the right moment and all that.
I have to say, like the Fast Take is a really interesting project, not just because of the celebrity power, and that's what everybody's gonna like very much, attach to, as this is shared on social and people are seeing that. That's like something that people can anchor to because they know these people.
Yeah.
But what I'm always blown away by is finding out what this timetable is of minute, 47 seconds, 3 minutes, like these types of tight things. And some of the images, the one that sticks out to me the most is John Hamm.
Hmm.
That kind of like lean back, amazing kind of motion shot that you got of
Yeah,
him.
him sliding across the
The fact that
sidewalk.
was pulled off in such a short period of time
Yeah.
absolutely blows my mind. It feels like you had an afternoon and you were trying stuff out, but
Yeah.
realistically, for some reason, inside of 3 minutes or however long you had with them, you're able to do that. And that's what always impressed me about the Fast Take as a whole is like as you scroll through the images, and anybody who goes on your website can do so.
What's really interesting about the John Hamm shot is I had to create portraits of him at Tribeca Film Festival. And it was solos of him, solos of his director for the film that they were promoting, a duet of them together in one lighting scenario. And then at the very last minute, I decided to completely change a lighting setup and had my assistants throw a light up, a new light
You just
modifier was up. I changed everything
Yeah.
all on the spot
Right.
because I knew that I wanted to get this shot
Yeah.
of him walking and sliding across the cyc wall. And with a little bit of guidance, I got him to start walking around. And he was kind of like he was into it, but he's like, okay, I'm walking around. What does this mean?
Yep.
And I'm like, all right, take longer steps. So we started to, and he said, okay, I'm just thinking long. I'm like, no, longer,
Yeah. Yeah.
longer step. And he's like, oh, okay. And
And
we
he
saw him
understood.
get
Yeah.
it.
Got it.
And that was the shot that's in the portfolio now is him taking that long step.
Yep.
Got that look in his eye with the
Yep.
eyebrow up a little bit, a little smirk. And that was the moment within got a few minutes of him, not even a few minutes of him walk around. I think I had him walk for a minute
Yeah.
tops. And we got the shot.
Don't know how that gets pulled off in such a short period of time, but that's what I think is like
It's
the
seeing the
most.
shot in your mind. It's having the right crew with you. It's knowing how hard to push, but also not be obsessive or just being an asshole about it.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
There's
I'm
a gentle way to guide yourself into that.
interesting. That's what strikes me the most is that these every one of those photos when I scroll through it, it feels like you could have taken half a day or a day in order to pull it off, and there you are doing it in 3 minutes. And I don't mean this in a negative way, but
Yeah.
like, do you view that as ultimately a weakness? Like, what's the pro and what's the con versus like, hey,
Yeah,
you know that you're here for 3 minutes. I know you're here for 3 minutes.
Yeah.
Are you here right now? Or are you not here right now? Or would you rather you could have shot all of these people and you would have loved to have half a day with all of them? Like, where's the weight there?
It's a very good question too. I don't know. I feel like I'm able, with the ability to be able to create these types of portraits in such a tight amount of time, definitely puts me into a category of photographers that clients are looking for that need that.
Right.
Like, as far as the industry is concerned, there's not a whole lot of people that can do that. I mean, there's definitely some really amazing photographers that are able to create work in a very fast pace.
Yes.
Um, I'm fortunate enough that I consider myself to be one of them. Uh, would I rather have more time with them? Sure. I think anybody would.
Okay.
To have more time to get more options and create a story with them would be amazing.
Yeah.
And I've had plenty of those opportunities as well,
Yeah,
where
of
I've
course.
spent an hour with Christopher Walken or
Right.
5 hours with Katie Couric.
When I look at these images next to each other, though, I can barely tell the difference, if any at all. Like, yeah, I mean, the bike, and and the rolling
Yeah.
and stuff. That was an
Yeah.
amazing shot because it has this motion, and obviously you had the setting and things like this. But like, yeah, I don't feel too much of a delta in between that. So yeah, I would say that's like,
Well, the mission accomplished.
yeah, exactly. But like, what are the logistics of that? That's got to be like, that's got to be a very difficult ask. It's like, hey, you're going to be shooting this. You're going to be able to set up this thing
For a longer form
for a
shoot.
longer no, I mean for a shorter form. I
Oh,
mean
shorter.
for the fast
Okay,
take.
yeah.
It's like you're gonna have this place, you're gonna be able to set it up, but like you know that you're gonna be having these people kind of revolving door kind of a thing, right? And that's like a
Yeah.
unique thing that not everybody can pull off. Like that's gotta be a lot of prep. That's gotta be a lot of logistical understanding as to like, okay, this is gonna be the backdrop
Yeah.
and if we need to go modular and we need to switch things up like we did in this John Hamm story,
Mm-hmm.
you have to be able
Yeah,
to do
so
it.
that's a matter of space. Like, how much space do you have to shoot in? When I was shooting Tribeca Film Festival at the John Hamm one, and
Mhm.
a bunch of other amazing people came through, I had a large studio space to shoot in where I was able to have three or four different setups going on the same cyc wall. But something more like an award show, I get a much smaller space, about the size of this bar here, maybe a little bit smaller,
Mm,
and it's actually going to be a lot smaller than here.
mm,
And I have to, in my mind, I have to be able to do the same exact thing, get multiple lighting setups on the same backdrop, or squeeze one over to the side and get what I want,
yeah,
as well as what the client wants.
right.
So yeah, that's all through a lot of planning. Yeah, it's a lot of freaking planning.
Orchestration. It's about bringing the right people. It's about bringing the right
Yeah,
equipment. It's about
yeah.
being
I
able
need to know that I can trust my crew. I need to know that
to the moment because 40 seconds wasted is
It's-
half the clip sometimes. Like you
Exactly.
can't do this.
Exactly. Yeah, the assistants, the crew that I work with, lighting designers, first and second assistants, all of them, like these guys and girls and ladies have been working in this industry for a very long time, and they're working with some of the other photographers in this industry that are at the top of their game as well, and doing probably like larger scale projects than I'm working on right now.
Mm. So the pedigree is there, the talent is
Yeah,
there. They
I
understand
know
what you
I can
need.
trust them.
Yeah.
I know I can lean on them for that type of work with my clear direction,
Yeah.
saying this is what I want to do. This is what I want the shot
Yeah.
to look like.
With you being the clear
get it in
orchestrator, hey, I would need this key light at this angle at this thing. I need you to do the silk over here and the screen over here and blah blah blah. things like
Exactly.
this. And I'm trying to throw around as many
Yeah.
technical terms as I can, looking like I know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, no, you're doing great.
All right, great, thanks. One other thing I was wondering about is after you shoot somebody, okay, now they're part of your portfolio,
Yeah.
right? They're part of your career at this point, right? Do you take a like vested interest in what is going on inside of these people's lives, good, bad, ugly, whatever it is, so that like, for example, like the name that comes to my mind right now is like Cynthia Erivo, right?
Sure.
Wicked is coming out, and my daughters are massive fans. And the fact that I
Nice.
just told them that Uncle Rick is the one who shot Cynthia.
Oh, my daughter
Alpha Buzz.
Nora loses her mind
Losing her
every
minds.
time.
Absolutely love it. But
Every
like,
time.
do you pay special attention to like what is happening? Because obviously, second movie is coming out, and this is going to be a major thing. Like,
Yeah.
do you pay attention to major events in their lives? Do you pay attention to, and I don't mean this in a morbid way, but like death or like, things that are happening because you have these wonderful iconic moments of these people. And that's when like that can be very helpful for telling a beautiful story about this person. Do you like pay very special attention to their career and that trajectory? Because it's
Yeah.
kind of your own in a small sense, right? Everybody gets added as
Yeah,
like,
I don't follow very closely to the entertainment world. I'm very interested in it,
Mhm.
and I shoot it and all that, but I'm not paying attention to gossip columns, or if that's even a thing
No,
anymore,
yeah,
but
that,
anything like that.
yeah, I understood.
Uh, but if there's something in the news that's happening, or there's a major sequel coming out,
Mhm,
like Wicked,
mhm.
or anything like that, yeah, I pay attention because then I can share that work again.
Yeah,
I could show it and say, "Hey, I photographed Cynthia. I photographed the director. I photographed John Chu, and I photographed all these other people from Wicked,
right.
and I can show that work again." And it just reminds you, "Hey, Rick's worked with these people. He's worked with this caliber of people. Here's the beautiful work that he created,
Mhm,
and hopefully I'm kept in mind for the next thing."
yeah.
So that's why I do it.
Mhm,
Um, yeah, any life event like that, like you mentioned, death. Yeah, if someone passes away, I'm going to honor their memory. I'm going in the only way that I'm able to,
yeah.
where I've crossed paths with them for a couple minutes,
Mhm.
and share that photo. Uh, yeah, it's very common in the photo world.
And that makes sense. But the other part to this is like when you were explaining who you are, right? I asked you like, how do you explain what you do? Like
Yeah,
you say that people know me for celebrity, but I don't consider myself only a celebrity. I consider myself portraiture, right? I
yeah,
consider myself two eyes, nose, and mouth. And for you not to describe yourself as a celebrity portrait photographer, right? There's got to be a decent amount of non-celebrity work there, right? This kind of like what is happening with the Patriot Guard and the artist work that you do, and
yeah.
things that are more local, right? To Sable itself, which is where we are right now. Um, like what percentage would you say you consider yourself, like 50-50? Would you say that I'm not talking about notoriety, I'm not talking about how people know the name Rick Wenner,
hmm
because I think that the celebrity will win every time because people obviously latch onto that, but how do you consider you?
I definitely view my work and my portfolio, my long career as a portrait photographer. Uh, I would split it down the middle.
50-50, yeah.
I think so.
Okay.
Maybe even a little more. Actually, I would probably go more like 60-40 ish to quote unquote real people being the majority,
Mhm.
because I spend so much time working on personal work, photographing groups like the Patriot Guard Writers, or my 15 plus year project of artists,
Right.
um, or para athletes, or mixed martial artists, or the wrongfully incarcerated. Those types of projects is what really fills my heart.
Mm,
Celebrity work is great, and it's great for notoriety, and it's great for a portfolio and
mm.
showing experience and reliability. But I'm going to spend a lot more time focusing on uh, what I really love about portraiture, and that's telling a story, typically about inspiration or creativity. And that's where a lot of that work comes from.
Yeah, it seems like more the human condition is what it is, and that the celebrity thing is like this wonderful thing to do, of course. Um, but if passion was passion and notoriety wasn't a thing, then it would still be fine to just shoot normal people all day, every day, because that's where a lot of that stuff can be found.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. When people are working with Rick Wenner in industry, and obviously you've shot for massive names, massive publications, HBO and these types of major
Yeah.
conglomerate type of things. When they're working with you, or I guess what would you say is kind of like the strength when people bring you on board? Is it that like ability to adapt in a very quick way and to open up people in that casual style like you've explained here? Is there
Yeah.
something else that I'm missing that's like when you hire Rick Wenner in order to do this work, right? You're working with him. This is what you can kind of expect, or this is what you can look forward to, rather than just
Yeah.
hiring anyone else.
I'm hired more often than not because, one, clients know that I can get the shot that they need, that's going to be uh, a unique, interesting portrait, and I can get it done quickly. And that's very important to the types of clients that I'm working with. Clients also know that I'm not going to be a fanboy on set.
Yeah.
I'm not going to be losing my mind because so and so is standing in front of me,
Mm-hmm.
or there's some crazy, amazing, intricate movie set that I'm shooting stills on, shooting publicity images or key art images on. They know I'm not going to be overwhelmed by that.
Mm-hmm.
They can trust that I'm going to get the job done. I'm going to get it done quickly, and it's going to be exactly what they need, and both of us will be very satisfied.
The likelihood of success and the ability to understand that you're in the depth that they need you to be in the depth of.
They know that they can rely on me, 100%.
I asked you like how you would describe yourself, but I'm gonna switch that because now we're gonna get into like the concept of notoriety and the concept of things. What would you say that you are most famous for?
I'm most well known for being able to get anybody of any notoriety or not comfortable enough in front of me in an uncomfortable setting. And that's what just about everyone that I work with, every client, every uh, portfolio meeting that I have, that's always what's brought up.
Mm,
Is they see a consistency in bringing out moments and personality and shoulders it down.
yeah,
There's no guard up.
right,
There's no tense feeling in the shot
mm,
unless I want there to be,
right.
and that's happened too, obviously. Um, but yeah, I'm going to say that's probably what I'm most well known for.
Okay. And now getting onto specific topics, specific subjects. Anyway,
Mm-hmm.
um, obviously, we've been friends for a very long time, but when Christopher Walken was coming up, it was, a topic of conversation. And we don't talk about all of your shoots as you're going to the shoots and who you're going to be doing that kind of a
Yeah.
thing. Because again, it just seems like it's more of a normal thing for you, where I would be maybe fanboying out a little bit. I'm not sure. I've never really been around
Right.
celebrities, so I can't tell you if I would or if I wouldn't. But Christopher Walken was obviously, it was a moment.
Sure.
It was a moment in your career. You've also shot incredible people. You say like that was the first iconic kind of person that you shot. I completely disagree with you on that. Like I think that your portfolio has amazing names that I was blown away by when I first saw them. But it is fair to say that he's extremely high up on the list, if not
Yeah.
the top on the list, and that this is something that for you meant a hell of a lot. So, um, not to be too glib about it, but like, what was that like? What was the day like? What was it like
Yeah.
working with Christopher Walken?
The reason why I say Walken was the first like major name that I worked with is because of who he is, because of his legendary status, and because of how much I just love his work. I've been a Walken fan forever.
This is a personal iconography inside of you
Yeah,
kind of thing, not just like,
yeah,
yeah, I understand. I
absolutely.
understand.
Yeah. So when I got the email as I was walking into a printer house to get a promo printed out in Long Island City, I stopped dead in my tracks in the middle of the parking lot, like, holy
Oh
shit,
my
really?
God. Yep.
What? What?
Okay.
So I was late to my meeting so I could talk to the editorial client and learn about, okay, what are we doing? I'm in. Whatever it
Mm,
is, wherever it is,
mm,
I'm down. Um, so it was up at his house, up in Connecticut, in like deep in the woods, very log cabin type of feel
mm.
to his home, which was very fitting and very awesome. So I actually stayed over the night before at a hotel so that I can be on set on time and not have to worry about driving around
Sure.
and all that
Ferry
type
or
of crap.
whatever.
And yeah, so I invested a lot of my own money into that shoot just because I knew how important it was going to be to my career.
Yeah. Mm,
Uh, brought the crew up with me. Like I said, we were at his house. Um, we were only allowed to shoot in his guest house, which is a beautiful space. And I think that's where he does a lot of his media. Was my assumption just based on other images that I had seen
mm,
during my research before and after
mm.
I photographed them. And I was able to set up 7 different lighting setups that day. And so he walks in after we're all set up, we're all good to go. Of course, there's some technical problem with a light not working
This is
and
life.
like all that type of stuff. It just happens, but of course, it happened at that time. Uh, so I sit him in front of the seamless, and that was how we got started. And I love telling this story. And maybe I've told it to you. I don't
Not to
know.
me. No.
So I have him seated in front of the seamless backdrop, and he will just not look at camera. So he's looking over here, he's looking down, he's looking up, he's looking behind him. He just will not look at me.
Hmm.
And I say, uh, Mr. Walken, will you please just for one shot? Can you just look dead into camera? I just want a tight big head portrait.
Mhm.
I didn't say big head. I said type portrait.
Right.
And he goes, no, no. What do you mean no? I didn't say that either, but that's what I was thinking. Like,
Hmm.
what the fuck do you
Hmm.
mean? And he goes, no, I'm not going to look at camera unless you call my name, unless you call my attention. I'm like, what? He goes, yeah, I want you to like call my attention somehow and I will look at camera. Okay. So at the time, I didn't understand because I spent another minute and a half, 2 minutes saying, hey, Chris, look over here, Chris, or
Yeah.
whatever, just something to get his eyes on camera.
Okay.
And I later realized, and this is what I was talking about before with like learning different experiences, building up my life lesson uh, booklet, I guess you can call it, in what he was doing was reacting. And he was taking my direction to give a natural expression. And I didn't realize it at the time.
Mm.
I thought it was just kind of strange, but I'm like, whatever, you're Christopher Walken, like, let's do it.
So he wanted to literally be like prompted by you so that he can actually
Exactly.
react to the prompt so that it can be a real reaction inside of the moment
Exactly.
rather than just, can you just stare at my camera? Because there's this certain dead eye kind of level
Yeah.
of like, I'm just looking at the camera right now.
Exactly.
wanted to
And
be-
I did get that shot too. I
Yeah.
was able to finally get him after some
Coaxing.
direction and coaxing and whatnot. But then the shot that I really love that I have of Walken is this one of him laughing. He's got his hands up. He's
Yes,
in an
this one.
actual
Yes, absolutely.
black and white. It's probably one of my top 5 portraits that I just love.
Agreed.
And what happened there was I knew I can get him into this natural moment by directing him to bring his hands into the frame. Being like, I want you to stand, your hand up to your chin, rub your face, something like that. And what I was doing was trying to, for a second, make him feel uncomfortable with himself enough
So do like
that he'll have the moment
uh,
where he says, I don't know what I'm doing.
with the hands.
Exactly. That's exactly what he said. I don't know what I'm doing. Like, what do you want?
Right.
And he's got the big laugh,
And then
and I got the shot.
And that's the moment.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah. And that's one of my favorite stories to tell.
And to circle back to the beginning of this conversation, ultimately, like when you took that shot in that exact moment, you were like, I got it. Please God be in frame. Please God be in focus. Like not frame.
Oh, that one I
that's
knew.
obvious, but
Yeah.
that one you knew.
Yeah,
right away.
all that one I knew. That one I knew for a fact.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah, there's one shot before and one shot after that totally suck, but that one is gold. I love that shot.
That's awesome. But listen, I mean, this has been fantastic. You know, I think we got more plans in order to do more of this kind of thing. But
Absolutely.
thanks for kind of exposing the process kind of thing and like the actual artistic part of this, because it's so easy for a lot of these conversations to be like, what was it like to work with Christopher Walken?
Yeah.
And it's so like people want to see that. Of course, there's got to be some of that,
Yeah.
but like we're gonna build off of this. I'm really excited to see like what the next kind of iteration is. So just
Yeah. No,
cheers, man. Our drinks are done because
Yeah.
we've done a fantastic job. But cheers to you anyway.
Cheers with an empty glass because that's what we do. No, this has been great. Thank you very much for this. I'm looking forward to doing more of these.
Yeah.
This is going to be a really fun project for us to work on together. And yeah, that's it. Thank you.
Let's go.
Awesome.